When it comes to endgame farming in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, it's all about the AA ISO drops. This particular one here I'm showing off, but you can see I've got quite a lot. It's really pretty amazing. So this one increases crit hit chance by 7%, that's in all skills, and it increases the critical hit chance of projectile attacks as well. I only wish all of Hawkeye's attacks were actually tagged as projectiles. Sadly they're not. Now with your rainbow ISO you get 4 ISO 8 slots, so because you're doubling up on the fixes it's equivalent of having 8 ISO 8 slots, so the significance of that really can't be understated at all. So in this video we're going to talk about where you actually go to farm these ISO 8. So firstly we'll talk about the ISO 8 you want to equip to help you farm these. We're then going to talk about the stage you'll use, and then finally I'll talk about the characters I use within that stage that I'm having a lot of success with and are getting me through it relatively quick. So we'll jump in first and we'll have a look at the ISO 8 you can equip to help you farm this AA Rainbow ISO. In order to farm your Rainbow ISO 8 you actually need to get a lot of white pieces first. Now the piece I have equipped here, this increases the rate at which Rainbow ISO 8 will drop. In the first instance you want to use the white variant of this because you need a ton of white ISO 8 in order to farm the rainbow, and location I'll show you in just a moment is the same for the rainbow and the white where you actually farm, but you'll use this first, and as mentioned you'll want the one that increases the rate for white ISO 8 dropping. You then have one here that grants a 19.5% chance of ISO 8 having a higher class when acquired. So ISO 8 I believe falls into your two rarities. You've got your rare one and that would be A and AA, so this means there's a higher chance of that actually dropping there. It's a higher chance of it being a AA. We then have another white one which increases the rate at which all ISO 8 will drop by 14.8%, so if there's more drop and there's more chance it'll be rare, there's more chance it'll be white, which is what we're looking for in the first instance. And then finally this one here increases the rate at which rare ISO 8 will drop, and this is by 14.8%. I've not upgraded this one at all. Now once you've got all this particular ISO 8 you want to go into the stage I'm just about to show you to actually farm your rainbow, and as mentioned it's actually this same stage that you'll use to farm the white ISO 8 in the first instance. So let me actually show you which stage it is, and you've possibly seen this in previous videos. When it comes to farming your high-end materials then you want to do it in the Mega Infinity Rifts, and it's generally the Rush or the Wave style. Rush I've found is the best for XP, and Wave by far I've actually found is best for your ISO 8 drop. So it's this one here, it's the Wakandan one where you need to defeat 200 enemies. So what I'm actually going to do now is show a playthrough and we'll see how much Rainbow ISO 8 I get. Generally I get around about 3 or 4 every time I go in here, which for round about a 4-minute run or so is a really pretty nice ratio, and I've started to get some pretty awesome ones already. I'll even show them at the end of the video, but let's jump in and I'll show you the characters I like to use and give you a general strategy as well here. When it comes to any kind of end game farming in a game, the character you really want to have as a core of your team would be Miss Marvel. Now around Miss Marvel I've got Captain America. He can offer a 20% boost to damage for 30 seconds, which is pretty amazing. We've got Spider-Man in there to take out the trash at the start here, because it does start pretty slow. It's when you defeat 30 enemies you can see you have the big ice giant appear, and at that point I'll switch over to Black Panther to quickly take that out. It allows the canisters here to spawn, which you can pick up and throw to take out more enemies. From here you want to switch back to Spidey, and it's when you get to the point that you defeat 80 enemies that all the elites start dropping in. Now when the elites start dropping in, what you actually want to do there is you want to make sure you're taking them out rather than just the regular enemies, because they have a much higher chance of dropping the ISO 8, especially the rare ISO 8. When you're running Miss Marvel as well, occasionally switch back to Captain America and use that buff for the 20% extra damage. You can see she's got like a red aura coming off her right at the moment, and that lets you know that she's got the buff. So we can see we've got a AA there, but it's not a rainbow, so we're going to keep spinning away. With Miss Marvel you have to be careful that you don't actually waste their energy, so try and keep your eye out for the larger blue orbs, because they will actually completely refill your energy. In this specific run I get unlucky and I actually have to run about a fair bit picking up the smaller ones, but keep an eye out on the larger ones. We just had the regular A rainbow drop there, so that's nice enough because you will have to use these to upgrade your AA. There's our first AA there actually, so we've had an A and a AA so far, so we'll keep spinning away here. You can see, as I mentioned, a bit low on energy unfortunately. If you do get low on energy, you can switch over to the likes of Black Panther, because he can take out elites really quickly as well. And there we go, there's our second double A actually. And then we got a B rainbow there. I think we've maybe missed another A rainbow when I was adding these all up, because I know by the end, I'm not spoiling it here, I managed to get 2 A's and I get as many as 3 double A rainbow drops, which is for a couple of minute run, which is really pretty amazing. But we're closing in on the end here. It's right at the end I actually get the final double A drop. You will get around about 3 to 4 per run when you are doing this. You can see now that I've got a lot more energy on Miss Marvel. It becomes a lot easier, but keep that buff up with Cap for the 20% extra damage, because it does all add up. You're taking less hits to take down elites, which means your energy will go further there. But we're just finishing up with the ultimate. There we go, and we get our third double A rainbow there. So what we'll actually do now is we'll go in and we'll have a look at some of the ones I've managed to find, and I've got some pretty awesome ones so far. So this here is a selection of some of the best ISO 8 I've found so far using this method. So this one here gives you 3.4% hit point recovery every 10 seconds, and there's no modifier. You don't have to be below 25% health or anything like that. And it also increases damage resistance by 15.5 per second. So that's actually going on Captain America. That's pretty amazing. We then have this one here, increases resistance to being interrupted while attacking by a ton. I've never actually seen that until now. Increases vitality by 10%. We then have one that increases the crit hit chance by 7%, increases the crit hit chance of projectile attacks by 9.6. It's not even upgraded yet, so I'm a little bit bummed that Hawkeye, as mentioned earlier on in the video, doesn't have all projectile on his attacks, but for any characters that do have full projectile, this is going to offer around about 18 to 20% additional crit chance from one ISO slot, which is incredible. Now the next one increases damage to the enemy's stagger gauge and also increases damage resistance by 13%. We then have increased damage resistance by 13%, I know they like that, and increases energy by 8.8%. You can see I've not upgraded most of these yet, I'm waiting until I get the perfect one. This next one increases critical hit chance of basic attacks and also melee attacks, so it could be really nice on the likes of Hulk there. And then we have increased their likelihood of being targeted. This will go on Cap as well and increases heavy attack damage. Ideally I'd like to see something else on this that will actually increase his survivability, but the ability to essentially taunt on it is really nice. We then have increased the recovery rate for your energy. This is really nice, the two effects both apply to that. And then if we go all the way down to the bottom here, we've got increased the damage of light attacks by 22%. It does reduce the damage of heavy attacks, but with this you get an increased crit hit chance. I'm thinking this could be really nice in Hawkeye because I don't like using his heavy attacks. So I could get the extra damage on the light attack and the crit hit chance on it as well. Could be pretty amazing. And then finally this one here increases the damage of attacks with the fire ability and also does additional flat damage of 14% all across the board. So this will be amazing on the likes of Ghost Rider, and if we even get Human Torch in future, or Phoenix as well potentially, then it could be amazing on them. But that's all the ones that I have managed to find. So let me know in the comments below if you try this method, if it works for you and how you're getting on. Let me know how many of each particular white ISO 8 you are equipping, because of course I've got them across 4 characters, but there's probably a balance you can find in regards to them to get that sweet spot. So if you've managed to find it and you're getting something like 5 rainbows per run, then definitely do let me know, and let me know if you've had some nice rainbow drops as well. And as always, hope the video has been useful. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.